Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon to all of you. We are all assembled here to inaugurate this third LISACON 2020 Virtual Conference entitled Reinventing Excellence in Librarianship, which is going to be held from 27th to 29th August 2019. The very distinguished guest, Professor K.K. Agarwal ji, Honorable Chairman, NBA MHRD, New Delhi, Honorable Vice Chancellor of Visvesvaraya Technical University, Belagavi, Karnataka, Professor Kalisiddappa, the President of today's inaugural function, Professor B. Rajashekar, Honorable Prof. Vice Chancellor, University of Hyderabad. The keynote speaker of today's conference, Dr. Shankar Venugopal, the distinguished Vice President, Mahindra Research Valley, Chennai, and the Director of the conference and my good friend and colleague, Dr. M.G. Srikumar, a very distinguished Chief Librarian and Adjunct Professor of the esteemed institute known as Institute of Indian Institute of Management, Kozhikode, the President of LIS Academy, Professor P.V. Kolar, and also the co-organizer of today's conference, Dr. Varatharajan, University Librarian, University of Hyderabad, invitees, delegates, ladies and gentlemen. We are all assembling or congregating in a very right situation in which we all of us has to take note of the changes or the developments that are taking place in the field of library and information science. In every subject field, the change is a unique character. We are living in the age of change. It doesn't mean that there was no changes earlier. Earlier also there were changes, but the difference is, in earlier days changes were slow, but today's changes are fast. So like that, we are witnessing a kind of a transition time, and this transition time has demanded all professionals to rethink, replan, and re-strategize our approaches and plan of action about how we are supposed to deliver our works and services in various sectors of libraries and information science. I understand that the organizers have rightly chosen the title of the conference, that is Reinventing Excellence in Librarianship. The word reinventing, we already invented something, experimented something, but the changing environment demands reinvention of new issues, new concepts, new methods, new tools, new theories, and also the new strategies. So, under these circumstances, the societal changes also are very clearly indicated by a changing characters. One of the unique characteristic features of today's society is today's society is a knowledge consciousness society, where the society has recognized the information or the value of knowledge. There is a growing consciousness about the importance of knowledge and importance of information. The second characteristic feature of today's society is it's a quality consciousness society. Everywhere, the concept of quality has been occupied. There is no place without quality. You go to any place, any sector, any areas, people expect a quality in that. So that is why one of the changing characteristic features of today's society is a quality consciousness society. And the third and most important change in character of today's society is it is a technology driven society. No doubt, technology has made a great, deeper impact on every aspect of human life. There is no areas which was untouched by technologies. So that's why technologies has encroached every part of human activities, every professional activities. In that line, libraries are not an exception. So because any changes are happening, any transitions are happening, one of the vibrant force for these kind of changes, transition or transformation is because of the developments in technologies, particularly the ICTs, and its profitable application to the library and information work. As I mentioned earlier, one of the characteristic features of today's society is a quality consciousness societies. All our focus should be on quality. Quality is the order of the day. Quality and excellence, these are the two unique aspects which is very important in every profession. In education, in medical or social sector or in technology or any sector you take. So the most two predominant factors are one is quality, another one is excellence. The quality is a measure of excellence. So libraries also requires to re-examine our work, our services and our activities from this particular point of view, that is quality information services and also the quality and excellence in our information work. So like that, quality and excellence of our library work and services largely depends on so many factors. Because quality and excellence, if you want to buy and adopt through our various components of the libraries, one of the component of our library to enhance quality or to bring in quality and bring in excellence is through our collections. Collections are the basic, or information resources are the basic component for any libraries. And the development of our library collections plays a very important role which ultimately lead to decide on the quality and excellence of our library services. So that's how we must establish a kind of quality parameters, excellence parameters while selecting and acquiring the document, whether print or non-print, for our libraries. Equally, a second important component where we have to reinvent the issues or the procedures is regarding the tools and techniques what we adopt, what we are following in our libraries. So our access tools, delivery mechanisms also requires a kind of a new transition change to provide better quality services and ultimately to achieve the excellence. The third and most important thing is that the quality of manpower. There's a lot of discussion, debate is going on nationally and globally, like in other sectors also in library and information science education. There's a need of quality human expertise or the quality manpower to manage the libraries to meet the changing and challenging needs of our users. So that's how the days have gone that librarian's job is not only just restricted to organizing the collections and also to make a delivery, but even after deliveries, after circulation, so we have to examine about our utility of our collections or our services. So hence, it is high time that we have to bring out a lot of new changes. We have to reinvent the new approaches, how to equip our LIS manpower to meet these changing and challenging situations in our libraries. And the last and most important component is that the quality technologies, quality policies, quality and procedures. So like that library profession, which is passing through the period of transition, definitely we can observe a positive visibility in the shift from print environment into the digital environment. So, and the society is also changing from its traditional social structure, social character to the modern social structure and modern social characters because of impact of technologies. And libraries are also has to take note of the changes or the challenges that has been taking place. So that's how the developments in ICTs has created changes in the roles of libraries. ICTs has changed the work culture of our libraries. So then there is a change in the work culture of libraries. Now we have to bring in or reinvent the new strategies, new philosophy, or new plan of action, and new methods and techniques to achieve our ultimate goals. So libraries have to provide innovative services, and to provide innovative services, we have to equip with the necessary resources, tools, technologies, as well as the human expertise. So another important thing is today is libraries are opening a new or operating in a new information environment. Libraries has to advocate their own relevance with the Google. We always used to say that Google or internet is a complementary or a supplementary for libraries, or either Google or internet is a rival for the libraries. So like that, the time has come, we all of us to re-examine that libraries has to advocate their own relevance when you compare to these Google. So that is why there is a need for reinvention of new generation of our services to meet the new generation needs of the users. So this kind of a situation, what we are all talking about, ultimately make a great impact on the not only social changes or the social developments, but also on the economic development also. So the change or a shift what we have found from even a country like India, where it is economic structure has been shifted from agriculture-based economy to a knowledge-based economy. So in this context, that is why today's society, I mentioned that one of the unique characters feature of today's society is the knowledge or information conscious societies. And the libraries are related to information environment or the knowledge environment. Definitely, the role of library is also very, very important to contribute its own share for the economic development of this nation. So, if you look at the changes and the challenges for libraries, many of the changes and challenges what we are all discussing since during the last 10 years or decades or more, still they will continue to be. One of the changes or the challenges is information explosion. So we are not talking about this interacting with this information explosion, or to how to survive this information explosion environment. Because the biggest question today for libraries is, because information explosion, a lot amount of information is available. The problem for libraries and the librarian is what to acquire and what not to acquire. So, but we have to reinvent our further strategies. We have to relook our strategies about acquiring and establish a kind of ownership, and not to establish a kind of ownership, but to establish your appropriateness for getting its access. Second challenge is access to published information. Value of information. Every information is having its own value. It has a time value, it's an economic value, and third one is the use values. But all these three values keep on changing, because information time factor, if we take what we acquire information today, if you are not use it today, it may become an out of date tomorrow, because the timeliness of information is also becoming less and less. Due to the generation of new information, the information of today is going to lose its relevance, meaning, and its value. So that is why the value of information depends on how, within what time you are going to acquire, and with what time you are going to provide an access to user, within what time the user will going to use it. That is the value of information. That's what Ranganathan said a long back about the value of information in terms of time. Timeliness of information. Every information is a value, provided if it is acquired on the right time, provided access at the right time, and used at the right time. That's what Ranganathan said. That is right information to the right user at the right time in the right format. And the unique change today, what we are finding, it was not so during the period of 1980s, 90s, etc. A change or a shift from local access to global access. Earlier, libraries used to have a conservative approaches. They never used to disclose what they are having. They never used to give a free access to others. This was the situation in 1980s, early 1990s. But today, every libraries in the world, they wanted to give an access to others also. So this kind of a changed approach from local access to the global access, even from the publishers end also, you can find this kind of a access facilities which are predominantly going on. The last one is the democratic access. So I always used to advocate that the libraries are also not only educational centers, but they are also democratic institutions. So when you say free access, that's a democratic access. And this access has increased the scope for reducing the problem of haves and have-nots. Many of the libraries, though they have a need for information, they could not able to acquire, they could not able to give an access, but the growing trend of democratic access or the global access has resolved these kinds of problems, and that is established that every library can share their own resources with others. So like that, the another change is the change from print to digital, analog to digital, etc. And today, there is a dominant of digital content and digital resources. And fourth one is the striking few force of ICT has been making vibrant changes. The rising interest on ebooks, the growing interest on ebooks. So one side, the very recently, what we are all experiencing because of the COVID-19, and particularly in the education field, when the students could not be able to get an opportunity of learning inside the classroom, but they could able to learn outside the classroom through this digital and teaching, that is this online teaching. We have to be very clear in our approach, where the libraries can also reach the unreached people through the e-content or through the ebooks. Even the today's generation also, where more of technology savvy. Today's users are more of technology savvy. They are very vibrant and expect everything on the spot. They have no patience to wait. So this is how the e-content or the e-books are very, very essential resource components in the libraries. The day by day, we are seeing in our users' environment, or users' interest, users' choice, user preferences is shifting from print to a digital form. That is called growing interest, rising interest of the e-books. And another important factor is the use of social media, such as the internet, library consortia, library softwares, and also the ability to exploit the library resources for the better use. All these things have reshaped the role of libraries, reshaped the structure of libraries. Libraries not necessarily to be identified through the big buildings. The days have gone. But libraries, the strength of libraries is always be determined on the basis of its access potential, use potential, etc. Another important thing in the libraries transition period, that is called our delivery mechanisms. So there is a great shift from earlier to today, where earlier times where the user has to travel to the library to use the library, but now the libraries can move to the doorstep of users. There is a shift of delivery mechanism, shift from manual to electronic, ownership to access. All these kinds of remarkable changes which are taking place that will going to determine the development of the new strategies and also invention of our new things. So access, process, storage, all these kinds of issues definitely requires a new approaches. And the national education policies were very recently where the government of India has accepted the report and put it in a public domain for discussion further and also for this implementation. It is very unfortunate that still we need a strong representation, strong place in the report about the role of libraries. We say quality and excellence in education. To bring all the quality and excellence, library contribution is also very important. The role of library is important. Library support is also important. So many of the times, what the students find difficulty to get from a teacher, they can get from the libraries. So that's how libraries continue to be the supporting organizations, supporting institutions for learning, teaching, and also for research. So, in the coming days, we're going to find a new kind of libraries, a new generation of libraries, and these new kind of libraries, new generation of libraries, will going to make a lot of impact, both on teaching, learning, or education, research, and also in business as well as in the developmental activities. So, change in culture of library use and also the increased opportunity of virtual use will going to make a great difference in the use of libraries. So hence, we have to exploit all these opportunities and also the changes as well as the challenges. So future days are the very brighter days for our libraries because not only the technological advantages, on the other side, the changes happening in the society, the increased or the positive attitude shown by the social component towards the libraries, the responsibility of libraries, the responsibility of librarians has been multifold, has been increased. How we have to reach that new generation users and new needs of our users, that we want to establish our role, our presence in a changing environment, definitely it requires a new approaches, new strategies, as well as the new techniques, tools, theories, etc. So, sustainable development of library and information service profession is also another unique character. Ladies and gentlemen, Changes, challenges, and opportunities will remain to stay. Changes will keep on changing, will going to happen. Challenges will always be there. Today, if you taken several two challenges or four challenges, tomorrow another set of challenges will emerge. And equally, the opportunities will also remain the same. But we must gear up to address these changes and challenges and also to exploit the opportunities. Hence, the libraries must change, libraries must transform. Librarians equally must change in their approaches, in their knowledge level, as well as the skill level. That's what Ranganathan says in his fourth law. Library is a growing organization, a growth or every aspect of the library. That is called not the physical growth of the library, but the growth of the library in reaching the large section of the masses. So that the warning for us, for our profession today is that we must perform, otherwise we will perish, or we must perform and show, otherwise we may find a difficulties. So that's why the future of librarianship will tend to move towards pedagogy than information environment. And in future, libraries will be in such a way that no books, no users inside the library. But there are lakhs and lakhs of documents which are not visible, which are existence in the library, accessible from the libraries. Equally so, there's several users not traveling in a library, but they are using the library virtually. Future libraries, you can say that no books, no users, but there are books, there are users in a virtual environment. So in that line, a lot of discussion, debate is going on around the world about the future of libraries, future of librarians, etc. So we the librarians must attempt to bridge the gaps of understanding or a sense making and accepting the transformation process. Future days for our library profession is always a brighter days and equally a challenging days. Let us prepare for the future. Let us rethink about our approaches. Let us once again, we have to evaluate our strategies and also prioritize our programs through our progressive thinking. So with this only, we can address all our issues and challenges of the coming days with the proper approaches. And I very happy that the coming days where the LIS Academy is organizing this very mega event, though it is a virtual conference, but organizing the conference by inviting the people from various sectors of life is really a unique. It is the first of its kind. I congratulate all the uh, organizers and also co-organizers for taking this initiative, which is one of the historical initiatives. I understand that there's a large number of the senior professionals who are very competent in their respective field of library profession, and they're going to deliver a very unique presentations in the coming days. And I wish this program a grand success. I once again congratulate the organizers for giving me an opportunity to share a couple of issues on this particular topic. So all the best. Thank you very much.